What happens when an orphan boy offers his umbrella to a stranger on a rainy day? This heartwarming story takes an unexpected turn when the stranger turns out to be none other than the Rock. What follows will melt your heart and change both their lives forever. But wait, there's more than meets the eye before we dive in. Tell us where you're watching from. It was a dreary, rainy evening as the Rock left the set of his latest film. Tired from a long day of shooting, the sky had turned a shade of gray, and the clouds had begun to thicken, casting an ominous shadow over the city. He looked up as the first drops of rain hit his face. Rock wasn't prepared for the downpour. He had left his umbrella at the studio, thinking the weather would clear up. The streets were soon soaked with puddles, and the people around him rushed to find shelter, each person trying to avoid the inevitable soaking that was quickly approaching Rock. However, wasn't in a rush. He wasn't the type to run for cover. His calm demeanor was more about embracing the present moment, even if it meant getting wet. But as he walked down the sidewalk, something caught his attention. A small, thin figure standing under the corner of a shelter, shivering in the cold. The boy couldn't have been older than 10. His clothes drenched his face, flushed with the chill of the rain. He was trying his best to stay dry with a tiny, tattered umbrella that seemed too small for his frame. His eyes were cast downward, as if he was resigned to the inevitability of being soaked. Yet his hands still gripped the umbrella tightly, as if it was his only protection from the storm. Rock paused for a moment, noticing the boy's struggle. Despite the downpour, the child refused to leave the shelter, holding on to the tiny umbrella with all the strength his small hands could muster. Rock's gaze lingered on the boy as the rain picked up speed. He had seen many people rushing to find cover, but the sight of the boy standing alone, doing his best to protect himself from the world, hit Rock. Deeper than he expected, something about the boy's quiet resilience sparked a deep sense of empathy in Rock's heart. Rock's curiosity got the better of him, and he slowly walked toward the boy. His shoes splashed in the puddles, and the sound of the rain seemed to intensify as he approached the boy. Sensing someone's presence, looked up. Their eyes met for the briefest moment, and Rock saw the flicker of something familiar. The boy didn't seem frightened, but rather he seemed as if he had come to expect this kind of hardship without hesitation. The boy stepped forward, holding the umbrella out toward Rock. His voice was soft, but clear as he spoke. "Excuse me, sir, please take my umbrella. You're going to get soaked." Rock froze for a second. Shocked by the boy's selflessness, he had been about to move on to keep walking toward his car, but the boy's offer, so simple, yet so profound, stopped him in his tracks. "You're giving this to me?" Rock asked, looking at the small umbrella, barely big enough to shield the boy himself. He could see how much the umbrella meant to him. It was a lifeline of sorts. The boy nodded, his face serious. "I'll be fine. You look like you need it more." Rock couldn't help but smile at the boy's determination, his generosity in the face of adversity. The boy's clothes were torn, his hair wet, and yet he was offering his only protection to someone he barely knew. Rock felt a lump form in his throat. This wasn't something he could just ignore. "Are you sure about this?" Rock asked gently, bending down to the boy's level. "You need this too." The boy, without a second thought, nodded. "I'll be okay. You look cold. You shouldn't have to stand out here in the rain." Rock looked at him with a deep sense of admiration. He could feel the sincerity in the boy's eyes, the quiet strength that lay beneath the surface. It was rare to see such compassion in someone so young, especially in a world that often felt so hardened by circumstances. Rock didn't want to let the boy down. "Okay," Rock said with a soft smile, taking the umbrella from the boy. "Thank you." The boy stepped aside, moving back under the small shelter, trying to stay dry. Rock couldn't bring himself to walk away. Instead, he moved toward a nearby cafe just a short distance away, hoping to offer the boy a warm place to dry off. As Rock stepped inside, he glanced back and saw the boy still standing there, his small frame shivering. Despite his brave face, Rock walked up to the counter and ordered a hot drink, hoping to buy something for the boy as well. He wasn't sure what he could do, but he knew he couldn't just leave the child standing out in the rain alone. He returned to the small shelter where the boy had been standing. His hot drink in hand, he approached the boy, offering a kind smile. "Come on," Rock said, gesturing toward the cafe. "Let's get you something warm." The boy hesitated for a moment, then nodded and followed Rock into the cafe. They found a quiet corner, and Rock handed the boy a cup of hot chocolate, the warmth of the drink contrasting with the cold. Outside, Rock took a seat opposite him, watching as the boy took a tentative sip. After a few moments of silence, Rock broke the stillness. "What's your name?" The boy looked up, his face softening slightly. Liam. Clark." Rock smiled gently. "It's nice to meet you, Liam." Liam looked down at his cup, stirring it with his finger as if trying to find the right words. "I've been on my own for a while now, after my parents passed away," he said, his voice faltering as he spoke. "I don't really have anyone left. I've been on the streets just trying to get by." Rock's heart tightened as he listened to the boy's story. He could see the pain in Liam's eyes, the weight of the loss that still lingered. Rock could relate to the feeling of loss, but hearing it from this young boy hit him in a way he didn't expect. "I'm sorry," Rock said quietly. "I can't imagine how hard that must be for you." Liam's eyes filled with tears, but he quickly wiped them away, not wanting to show weakness. "It's okay," he said. "I've learned to survive on my own. I'm used to it." But Rock could see that Liam was anything but used to it. There was a deep, aching loneliness in his words. It was the kind of loneliness that came from being abandoned by the very people who were supposed to love and protect you. Rock could feel the boy's vulnerability, his quiet resilience as they sat together in silence. Rock couldn't help but feel a deep sense of responsibility for Liam. He had lived a privileged life, one filled with fame, wealth, and opportunities. But in this moment, none of that seemed to matter. What mattered was that Liam, this young boy, was alone in the world, fighting to survive, and Rock couldn't just walk away. Liam broke the silence again, his voice small. "I don't want to keep living like this, but I don't know what else to do. I don't have anyone who cares. I don't know where I'm supposed to go." Rock's eyes softened, and he leaned in closer. "You don't have to do this alone, Liam," he said, his voice filled with warmth and compassion. "I can help you. I know things seem tough right now, but trust me, there's always hope." Liam looked up at Rock, disbelief, and a spark of hope flickering in his eyes. "You'd really help me?" he asked, almost in a whisper. Rock nodded, his heart full of conviction. "Yes, I'll help you. You don't have to go through this by yourself. I can make sure you have a chance at a better life, for the first time in a long while." Liam felt the weight of the world lift off his shoulders. The boy couldn't quite believe it, but there was a warmth in his chest, something he hadn't felt in years. Weeks went by, and with Rock's help, Liam's life started to change. He was placed in a foster home, enrolled in school, and given a chance to rebuild his future. Rock checked in regularly, offering guidance and encouragement. He watched as Liam began to thrive, gaining confidence and making new friends. The boy who once shivered under the rain was now walking into a future filled with possibilities. One day, Rock received a letter in the mail. It was from Liam. "Dear Mr. Rock, I don't know where I'd be without you. You gave me more than just a chance. You gave me hope. I've started school and I'm making new friends. I'm working hard to become someone my parents would be proud of. Thank you for saving me. Sincerely, Liam." Rock read the letter with tears in his eyes. He had changed Liam's life, but in doing so, Liam had changed his as well. Rock had learned something invaluable from this encounter: the power of kindness and the strength of the human spirit. No matter how hard life gets, even the smallest acts of kindness can change someone's world. When you help someone, You not only change their life, you change your own. The hope we give to others is the hope we find within ourselves. Did this story touch your heart? If you believe in the power of kindness and how small acts can change lives, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and let us know what you would have done in rock shoes.